Imagine this. A world-famous German scientist, one of the greatest geologists alive, sitting in a hall at King Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia. His name? Professor Alfred Kröner, a man who spent his life studying the secrets of the earth, digging into rocks, analyzing mountains, and uncovering stories written in stone for millions of years. And then he gets asked a question that changes everything. A professor leans forward and asks him, "Professor, do you geologists have proof that the Arabian Peninsula, this endless desert of sand, was once filled with gardens and rivers?" The room goes quiet. Professor Kröner smiles as if the answer is too easy. He nods and says, "Yes, of course. This is a well-known fact. Arabia was not always a desert. We know because whenever we dig, we find evidence, layers, fossils, ancient remains that prove it was once fertile land, full of rivers and meadows. In fact, an entire ancient city, Al-Fa, was discovered beneath the sands of the empty quarter. Science has no doubt about this." The audience listens carefully. But then comes the second question. "Professor, do you have proof that Arabia will return to being rivers and meadows again in the future?" Kröner pauses. He adjusts his glasses. And then, with complete seriousness, he says, "Yes, this is also a fact. We can measure it, calculate it, and predict it, and it's not far away." Now everyone is stunned. The professor presses him. "But why do you say it's close?" Kröner explains. "Because Earth passes through repeating cycles called ice ages. When massive amounts of water freeze at the poles, glaciers expand and climates shift. Arabia, in those times, becomes one of the rainiest regions on Earth. Rivers flow, pastures grow. It has happened before and it will happen again. This is not speculation, it is scientific truth." The room falls silent, and then the professor delivers the shock. "Do you know that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said this more than 1,400 years ago? He said, 'The hour will not come until the land of the Arabs returns to being meadows and rivers.'" Kröner freezes. His eyes widen. He whispers, Who could have told Muhammad that Arabia was once rivers and meadows?" The professor looks at him calmly and asks, "Well, what do you think?" Kröner thinks, then says, "Maybe the Romans?" But the professor leans in again and asks the real question. "And who told him it will return again in the future?" Now Kröner is silent. He thinks, he struggles, he searches for an answer. And finally, he looks up and says slowly, "There is something above." And then he puts it in writing. With his own hand, this world-class scientist admits, "I am astonished by the scientific facts I found in the Quran and the sayings of Muhammad. Facts that we have only discovered recently, with advanced technology. Muhammad could not have known this on his own. This knowledge must have come from above." Ladies and gentlemen, this was not the opinion of an ordinary man. This was the testimony of one of the world's greatest geologists. And it all happened in just 2.5 hours of honest discussion. The Quran had already declared it long ago. "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves, until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. Is it not enough that your Lord is a witness over all things?" Quran 41:53. And today, science itself is bowing to what the Quran revealed more than 1,400 years ago.